good team win yesterday. I thought we did some good things in all three phases. Special teams, we were able to get some yardage in the return game, punt return. I thought we played fast on special teams yesterday. Eric Wilson played very well. Jay Ron-Kurst did a nice job there. And then, offensively, obviously, the two receivers and Cousins played outstanding. Defensively, I thought we did some much better things this week, and so we're just going to try to continue to clean it up and get better and continue to move forward.
Mike, why has Kirk been so good at diagnosing blitzes and beating them?
He's had experience and seen a lot of these things as part of it. Part of it is, I would say that's the biggest thing is experience, and then having the ability to get into different protections.
Mike, in the time you've had Stephen Weatherly, in what ways has he improved the most as a pass rusher?
I think I've said this many times, but when he first came here, first little bit, he was a guy that would stop his feet on the rush, kind of measure. Now he's just rushing and using his athletic ability. So if the guy oversets him, he comes inside. If he sets too tight, then he works the outside edge. So I think you just get a better feel of it. But the number one thing is not stopping his feet.
What are the keys in having two defensive ends that can play both the strong and weak side technique and being able to move Daniil over to that right side?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter too much, honestly. Daniil feels comfortable on both sides, and Stephen does too. So it's really not a big a deal moving right or left.
You've grabbed a lot of pass rushers who didn't have a lot of sacks in college. How do you identify those players coming out, and then also how important has Patterson been in developing them?
Yeah, first of all, Andre's a great coach. I've been with him for 30-some years probably, but he's a great coach, good technician. He works really hard at it. And then we look for certain traits. That these players have, and it's not just all athletic ability. Daniil Hunter is a guy that just wants to get better every single day, and so that's part of it. I think it took Stephen a little bit longer to get to that point, but Daniil, I don't think he ever thinks he's arrived. I think he's always trying to, hey, what can I do better today? What can I do better now? How am I going to get better? He's always asking those questions, especially Andre.
Mike, you said I think yesterday that some of those throws that Kirk had were thrown before he even comes out of his break just to a spot. Is that just trust that's developed every day out here in front?
It really is, yeah. And knowing where the guy's going to be, trusting that he's going to go get the football. There were several times that happened, probably 3 or 4 that happened in the game that he made outstanding throws under pressure, and receivers did an unbelievable job going to get him. I think Diggs is playing really well right now. He's been really good at trying to get extra yards after catch. He's been very emotional and competitive all the time. And then I think, obviously Adams had some really good games. So it's been helping. And then, I think these other guys are doing a nice job too,
It's encouraging that Kirk's had 3 really strong games on the road in tough environments. He hasn't shrunk in any of those moments either.
No, and I think our team has, for the most part, the Rams game we didn't play real well, but offensively we didn't blink in any of those games. We never flinched in anything that happened, and this week we did better defensively. So that's part of it. As you go on the road, you go into a bad environment, no one thinks you're going to win the game, and you just go out there and you just keep plugging away and keep fighting, don't flinch.
How much do Coach Bailey, like during a game like that, do you get involved with the kicker much, or do you just decide whether you're going to kick a field goal and then set the hook? Yeah, no, I thought about talking to him during the game, but I didn't. I don't usually talk to him very much, I 100% believed he was going to make that kick. I didn't have any doubt in my mind.
Some of the guys Mike talked about, Jesse Diggins' speech about last week, talking about powering through, I guess. did you sort of see that at sort of have an effect in the game? Just that mentality on the road, hanging on to a lead late.
Yeah, well, you know, she did a great job of talking to the team. And honestly, you know, as you've probably seen the race and, you know, some of the video that she had, it was very emotional. But basically she talked about, you know, anybody can do anything for 10 things, you know, whether it's 10 push-ups or, she said, no, I had 10 kilometers, but I would count 10 strides. And so, you know, I think that our guys, you know, who knows if any of that stuff is a big factor in winning, but it gets you to think about what's important and, you know, how you can overcome when you're tired, and basically about sucking it up.
What is the resiliency of this defense bring to this team?
Well, it's always been pretty resilient. I don't, you know, we didn't play good against the Rams, and, you know, a lot of that's my fault, but this defense has a lot of pride, a lot of heart. You know, I think they came out with a purpose this week to show that, you know, that we can get back to playing good defense, and hopefully we'll continue it throughout the year.
It's a decent sample size now in Mike Hughes. What have you seen from him through 5 games now?
I thought he played well this week. You know, he gave up the one deep ball, but he was in great position. The ball was a little bit underthrown, and then, you know, most of the time he was doing everything correctly. He got beat on that last touchdown, but, you know, he was a little bit misaligned on that. But he's improved. You know, he's got great quickness and talent, and he's a good kid. Works real hard at trying to get better. Asks a lot of questions. So, you know, I've been pleased with him.
Have you gotten a chance to get another look or two at Sendejo's hit that he got flagged on, and what did you think of it?
I thought it was not a good call.
Do you worry about a player getting a reputation with the officials, maybe, where they're a little bit more likely to flag a guy like that once he has a few flags thrown against him?
Yeah, probably. I mean, you know, these officials watch tape too, and they sit there and, you know, because I was talking to one of them before the game, and we were talking about some of the things their team does, and, you know, I said, do you have anything about us? And he said, yeah, you know, your one guy does this a lot, and it wasn't Sendejo, but it was someone else. And, you know, so they watch tape too, but that was, I mean, I can't,
Last week, you sounded like you'd looked at the tape of Philadelphia from the year before, and you were pretty comfortable that there were just some small adjustments and that, you know, people get caught up in the score with this one. Is that usually the case, even in when there's a big margin in a game, that it's just a few things here and there that leads to it?
you know, not always, Mike. Sometimes, you know, it's just bad play, and then sometimes it's, you know, that, you know, and if you go back and you look at the championship game and you look at it real close, you know, they made every throw and catch just about, even the short ones, the third downs. You know, we got the quarterback sacked, and the receiver takes off and runs, you know, takes off down the field, and he makes a great throw for a touchdown. Right, you know, it was 14-7 with a minute something left in the half or something, and you know, we missed a tackle on third down to get us out, would have had us out. We had they throw the flea flicker early in the third quarter, and you know, one of our guys falls asleep. You know, so there's things like that, and then it kind of got ugly at the end. But you know, I mean, they actually scored on defense. You know, to make it was 7-7 for a long time. So, you know, and you know, I'm not saying we should have won the game or anything like that. But when you go back and you look at things, that, you know, you find a lot of little things that you can correct. You hope you can correct.
The onside kick at the end there seemed like it was pretty well executed. What was going through your mind there as it got kind of a bad hop and bounces off of Adam at first?
Let me get it and take a knee and go home.
What is it about Adam that makes him so good in that spot?
Competitor, you know, he's going, you know, there isn't very many times Adam doesn't make the play that when he's given the opportunity.
When it comes to like having Jesse Dickens come in or any speaker, how do you go about, you know, choosing like to have come talk to the team on any given week or day?
I have a lot of help, people come and say, hey, would you be interested in doing this, would you be interested in doing that? And I say yes or no.
Mike, do you ever think you see a point in the league where you're not completing 70%, you're not cutting it?
Yeah, no, probably not. I remember, one year when I was in Dallas, I believe we set a record for, it was like 50% completions or less than that maybe, for the year, so, it's kind of uncharted territory now.
Is it hard to predict the ceiling of where that can go?
There's a lot of, last year was like the lowest scoring in the league in a long, long time, and they wanted to fix that, and they obviously have, so, they're allowing things to happen, they're allowing receivers not to get touched, they're allowing, quarterbacks not to get hit, they're allowing people not to hold, there's a lot of, to hold, there's a lot of, there's a lot of things that, when the league wants something, they're gonna get it, so I think they're getting it.
Mike, are
And
quarterbacks
that's not a negative on the league, it's just the way life is. Excuse me?
Are quarterbacks also,
Yeah,
I understand all that, but are guys throwing it better than they have?
I believe so. Yeah, well, obviously the great ones are, they're always gonna be really good. The thing that's kind of showing up a little bit, some of these young quarterbacks that, like, for instance, Wentz, he's a guy that, 2 years ago, he kind of was just kind of feeling his way, and then a year ago, he played lights out, you can go to the guy at the Rams. He's played so much better in his third year. I think these young guys that are in the league right now, they're all, I'm not watching them, I'm just, I'm TV scouting like you.
Time for two more.
Mike, along those lines, forever, people talked about offenses need to be balanced. Does that become obsolete?
The thing that I think is that the defenses now, there's so many defenses now playing single high. There's a lot of them playing single high defense. I can name them after and after and after. And that, makes it much more difficult to run the football into usually. And so, these teams that are checking the ball and throwing it, and, they're taking a 5-yard throw, as opposed to a 2-yard run. I think that's kind of how it is. I do think it'll get more balanced as the season continues to progress a little bit. I could be wrong, but I think it'll get more balanced.
When you see so many teams spreading out and putting you in nickel situations, sub packages as much as it does, how does that affect your personnel and the way you guys have to react to that?
Ben, I kind of like it more, honestly, because I can get a lot more creative with a lot of things that we can do in the nickel stuff than we do in the base stuff.
Did you see a little bit of Georgia Loka when you took Jaron Kearse in the draft? You see similarities?
Yeah, are you talking about when we drafted?
When you drafted Kearse, were you thinking about Iloka in the back of your mind?
Yeah, a little bit. They have similarities that, the size and length and athletic ability. Yeah, I think so, yeah.